When the road ahead feels foggy, and progress feels really slow, what keeps you from giving up on something that feels truly meaningful? That's a question I've certainly wrestled with, and I imagine many of you listening probably have too.
Mm.
Today, we're going to take a deep dive into that very idea. We're talking about that unwavering commitment, that quiet kind of resilience it takes to keep pushing forward when the path just isn't clear,
Mm.
and how that consistent, often unseen effort can sometimes lead to the most profound, maybe even unexpected outcomes. It's about a deep, abiding commitment, especially when it feels like you're just treading water.
It's a really fascinating area, isn't it? Because, in a world that loves instant success, visible results,
Right.
we often just overlook the immense power of sustained, deliberate effort. We're looking today at what we're calling faithful endurance.
Faithful endurance. Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of the art of persisting on your journey, continuing the good work, even when you're up against challenges or feeling discouraged or just dealing with that frustratingly slow pace.
Faithful endurance. I like that phrase. It sounds less like, just gritting your teeth
Exactly.
and more of a chosen path, a deliberate stance. So what's the foundation? What gives this kind of endurance its real power?
Well, I think at its core, it's really anchored in a fundamental kind of trust, the promise of a harvest.
A harvest. Okay.
And look, this isn't some kind of magical thinking. It's more the understanding that consistent effort over time, it adds up. It accumulates. It's sort of like compound interest, but, for your actions and your intentions.
Hmm.
Now, the harvest isn't always what you expect, and it definitely doesn't always show up on your timeline,
Right. That's key.
but it does emerge. And the other piece is anchoring in hope. That's about actively cultivating that deep-seated belief, that optimism, especially when the outcomes you want haven't shown up yet, or when the future just seems, well, completely foggy. It's about digging in your heels.
That concept of due time feels incredibly important there because we live in such a fast-paced world, don't we?
Yeah.
We demand instant results for everything.
We
It feels almost countercultural to embrace patience like that.
Absolutely. And, this foundational truth, it resonates across so many different traditions and wisdom streams. There's an ancient piece of wisdom from Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 that just captures it perfectly.
Okay.
It says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." It's such a powerful, concise distillation. Consistency, patience, and that promise of an eventual reward.
So let's unpack that a bit. When it says, let us not become weary in doing good, what does that really mean for someone who's like in the thick of it? Is it just about not quitting, or is there something more active going on?
Oh, it's definitely an active choice. Think of
Yeah.
it as a deliberate commitment, right? To keep going with those righteous actions or maybe spiritual disciplines, even when you feel that fatigue creeping in or frustration building.
Yeah.
It's about maintaining a steady course, not just, reacting to how you feel moment to moment. It speaks to a kind of deep internal resilience. It's not about being naive about the difficulties. It's about making that conscious decision to keep showing up day after day, even when it's really hard.
And then the next part, for at the proper time, we will reap a harvest. I find that so interesting because it's not promising instant gratification at all.
Not at all.
It's suggesting more of a natural unfolding that really does challenge our whole immediate feedback culture, doesn't it?
It completely does. The proper time, it isn't about our personal deadlines or our quarterly goals.
All right.
It suggests maybe an opportune moment, a natural culmination.
Mm.
Some might see it as divinely appointed, others as just the result of complex, unseen forces playing out over time.
Mm.
Either way, it's really a call to trust in a larger process, understanding that, well, some growth cycles simply can't be rushed.
Mm.
Just like a seed needs time and water and sun,
Yeah.
our efforts often need that kind of incubation period before they actually bear fruit.
Which brings us right to that crucial condition at the end,
Yeah.
if we do not give up. It sounds so simple, but that's the absolute linchpin, isn't it?
Yeah.
It connects the perseverance directly to the outcome.
And it is.
It means the promise of that harvest. It hinges on us staying the course. It's not just about what we do, but how consistently we keep doing it.
Exactly. And this whole message, it speaks so directly to some of the most universal human struggles, doesn't it? Like that sheer exhaustion or discouragement that can lead to burnout,
Oh,
or that deep frustration when the outcomes you desire just haven't materialized. What some might call unanswered prayers, or maybe just dreams deferred.
Yeah.
And of course, just navigating those periods where the future feels completely unclear, those seasons of real uncertainty. This ancient wisdom, it offers not just, comfort,
Right.
but actually a practical framework for how to keep going.
Comfort, yes. And I think maybe the best way to really get our heads around this isn't just talking about the theory, but seeing it in action. Let's dive into a couple of real-life journeys that kind of illustrate this power.
Good idea.
Okay, first, a quiet story. Comes from a small town about a pastor. Now, this is a man who, for many, many years, diligently preached to his congregation. But the thing was, it just never seemed to grow. It stayed around 20 members.
Wow, 20 for years.
For years. Imagine the potential discouragement there. Week after week, pouring his heart out, seeing absolutely no visible signs of expansion or widespread impact. How easy it would be to start questioning.
Oh, absolutely.
Is this working? Am I making any difference at all?
Yet what's so compelling about his story is his unwavering commitment. Despite those outward appearances, the lack of success by conventional metrics, this pastor remained faithful to his calling. He just kept preaching, kept serving, consistently, planting seeds of faith in that small, unchanging community. His endurance wasn't really about seeking recognition or big numbers. It was rooted in the intrinsic value he placed on the work itself, regardless of that external validation. It's a powerful example of just, maintaining your internal compass.
And here's where the story takes this truly remarkable turn, but it takes decades. Decades later, the unseen harvest from that quiet faithfulness started to show itself. One of those original 20 members, someone deeply inspired, profoundly influenced by the pastor's humble, consistent ministry over all those years, went on to start a nationwide ministry. Nationwide. Think about that. A huge, widespread impact stemming directly from that quiet, unassuming work in a tiny church. The pastor himself. He may never have seen the full scope of his harvest, but it was there. It was manifesting in ways he couldn't possibly have imagined at the time. It's just such a testament to that sort of compounding interest of human connection, proving that sometimes your greatest impact lies in those seeds you don't even realize you're planting.
That's a perfect illustration, isn't it? How impact can just ripple outward, far beyond what we can immediately see. Now let's shift gears a bit. Consider another journey, one that probably hits closer to home for a lot of people. This is the story of a single father, working 2 jobs, just trying to keep his family afloat. He was grappling with immense financial strain and just the sheer exhaustion that comes from that kind of constant ire.
Oh, I can only imagine.
And in those quiet moments, late at night, he likely questioned whether all his immense efforts, his tireless work, was it truly making a difference in his children's lives? Was he doing enough? Was it even worth it?
Yeah, that feeling of burnout where you just question the very foundation of what you're doing. And I've certainly felt that, and I'm sure many listening have too. What's so powerful about this father's journey is his steadfastness. Despite all the doubts, all the physical and emotional fatigue, he just maintained this unwavering commitment to providing for and nurturing his kids. He just kept showing up, kept doing the next right thing, consistently being that anchor for his family. It wasn't about big, flashy gestures.
No.
It was about a relentless, quiet dedication, day in, day out.
And the harvest, in this case, it was equally profound, though completely different from the pastor's story. His son, now grown up, explicitly credited his father's unwavering faith and his consistent presence as the anchor that kept him grounded throughout his life.
Wow, an anchor.
An anchor. And see, this isn't just about financial provision, though that's part of it. It's about that deep foundational legacy that comes from consistent parental dedication. The father's quiet perseverance, even when he himself questioned his own impact.
Right.
It provided this unshakable core for his son's life. What's truly fascinating here is how these unseen, often mundane, daily acts, when they're performed with faithfulness, they become the very things that shape and stabilize future generations.
These 2 stories, they really highlight this overarching idea, don't they? That faithfulness doesn't always look glamorous.
Not at all.
But its power is just undeniable. The pastor didn't have a booming megachurch. The single dad wasn't living some life of luxury. Their efforts were consistent, often unnoticed, perhaps didn't bring immediate public recognition or reward.
Exactly. And both examples showcase these consistent, often unnoticed efforts that didn't bring immediate applause, but produced really significant, far-reaching results over time. It wasn't about the outward appearance.
No.
It was about the steady, compounding impact over days, months, years. It's about building something, refining something, maintaining belief, even when you face setbacks.
So as you listen to this and you reflect on your own life, It's maybe worth remembering what we've talked about today,
Hmm.
your faithfulness, those quiet, consistent efforts you're making,
Hmm.
whether it's, I don't know, nurturing a relationship, building a business,
Yeah.
maybe learning a new skill, dedicating yourself to a cause.
Hmm.
They might not always look impressive from the outside.
Right.
They might not bring immediate recognition or applause, but their power is profound.
Mm.
And the impact, well, it can manifest in unexpected and truly beautiful ways, reaching far beyond what you can currently see or even imagine.
And this whole understanding, it provides an incredibly valuable framework, I think, for staying grounded and hopeful,
Yeah.
especially when the future feels murky or uncertain. It really encourages us to trust in that concept of due time, recognizing that some things just need patience and that the result of our efforts, they will emerge when they are meant to. It helps shift our focus from needing that immediate gratification to
Yes.
valuing that long-term impact.
And fundamentally, staying anchored in hope, as you put it earlier, that provides the crucial stability we need amidst life's inevitable challenges, right?
Absolutely.
It's what keeps you from being swayed off course, maybe feeling lost in the storm, and ultimately what keeps you from giving up on what truly matters to you. It's that deep-seated belief that your continued efforts are worthwhile, even when nobody else seems to be clapping.
It also, I think, challenges us to maybe redefine what success looks like.
That's a good point.
It's not always about the grand achievements or the public acclaim. Sometimes, maybe often, it's about the steady, consistent work that builds something lasting, often completely behind the scenes. And that's true for us as individuals, for families, really for any endeavor where long-term value is the real goal.
So what does all this mean for you listening right now? Well, it means that your quiet perseverance, your consistent doing good, even when it feels unseen or unrewarded in the moment, it is sowing seeds. Seeds that will, in their proper time, yield a profound and often unexpected harvest. So please, don't underestimate the power of simply not giving up. It's not just about pushing through pain. It's about trusting that enduring faith, that steady effort. It really can lead to widespread and lasting positive change, maybe in ways you can't even begin to predict right now. So the core message from our deep dive today is really about the profound importance of persevering, of not giving up.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that consistent effort, when it's rooted in belief, in hope, it will yield results in due time, even when that path ahead feels foggy and progress feels incredibly slow. So let me leave you with the question we started with, perhaps for you to carry forward. When the road ahead feels foggy and progress feels slow, what keeps you from giving up on something truly meaningful?